Hi everyone. Welcome to another tutorial by Jesse Pack. This is going to be for Art 363B digital illustration. This can also be for anybody who wants to learn a little bit more about Photoshop. Today we are going to be going over, as I mentioned earlier, Photoshop and the tool called masking. Go ahead and download this file if you are in the class. If this is for a different class and you're watching this video, you can download this on Canvas, or if I've given you different instructions, you can download it from whatever I say. Otherwise, if this is for the far future and you're just watching this just for the sake of practicing some Photoshop tools, I will probably leave a download in the description below. Other than that, though, once you've downloaded the file, go ahead and open it up and we'll go ahead and get started. And again, y'all, at any time, if you need to pause the video, slow down the video, or practice anything, feel free to do so. It is very highly encouraged. Otherwise, let's go ahead and begin. So today I want to talk about masks. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and create this over here utilizing some references that I've given y'all. So you can go ahead and navigate to your layers and kind of find these things over here. Now, before we do get started on going over this assignment, though, I would recommend that you learn about the brush tools before jumping in, as just like the general brush tools. So, if you don't know how to use like hard round brush or soft round brush, or how to apply like pen pressure to like, these things over here, this is just the very foundations of it that I would definitely recommend learning that before jumping into masks. Now, masks are a really, really cool tool, y'all. And I'll just kind of show y'all what it does really quick. We'll use this over here. If you want to play around with the assignment and the demo with me, feel free to do so. We'll start over after this part here. If you're extra scared of messing anything up, it's highly recommended just to make a copy of your file. That way you can just delete one of them later. But otherwise, let's go ahead and talk about masks. So for masks, masks are basically a tool that you can use to hide stuff that you don't want people to see. And so it kind of looks like you erase something, but it's not actually erased. It's more like just hidden. It's invisible now. So let me show you a quick example here and kind of show you how to do it. So to mask something, first and foremost, you want to select the layer and the object that you want to mask. So we're going to go ahead and apply a mask to the layer. So everything on this layer will have a mask. So to do that, you're going to go ahead and press this little button over here on the bottom. It looks like a rectangle with a circle, and it'll create a mask for, what is it? For your layer, which is right here. Now, what's important to know is you can switch to clicking your layer, or you could your layer over here for coloring, or you can switch to like clicking your layer to adjust the mask. So anytime you are working on the actual image here, or you want to add like color or something like that, right? You have to do it on this layer, whereas anytime you want to work on the mask, you have to kind of work on this layer. But let me kind of show y'all what a mask basically does. So when I jump to this mask over here, so make sure to click this part. What will happen is if I'm just going to use a hard round brush. If you don't have this access, you can go to the top left over here and it should be under your general brushes. But anytime you use a mask, what's good to know is you want to click on the mask layer again. And if you use black, you can basically hide away anything that you want. Whereas if you use white, and if you're having trouble selecting the colors, you can also go to the swatches over here. So kind of like that. If you want to have this color thing open, you can go to Windows and Color. And then I set mine on Hue Cube, but I would recommend Color Wheel for my beginners because it's actually a little bit easier to use. I just like the Hue Cube because I'm just used to it. But once you have white, okay, so let's go ahead and select white. You can basically color on the areas you hid away to reveal them again. And grays will reveal them, but it'll be transparent depending on how dark it is. So the darker the gray is, the more transparent it'll be, whereas the lighter the gray is, the more opaque it's gonna be. So this is like pretty opaque over here. It's like pretty hard to see through, but you could see a little bit through with this gray. Now, what's also good to know is let's just say you have like a you want to do a mask that's kind of like this, right? So um you want to make like a heart or something like that. So just make like a very, very quick heart shape. If you click on this little link over here, as you kind of notice when I move my like mask around, it also moves my image around. If I unlink it, it won't move my image and it'll allow me to move my mask only. But that's basically what a mask does, y'all. Um, I do recommend at this time, if you're confused, to rewatch this video, or at least this part of the video. Otherwise, like I would take some time to also practice so that you kind of understand how a mask works. And the reason why I said brushes are so important is because like using certain brushes, so maybe let's grab like this round pressure with opacity here, right? You can use certain brushes and your stylus to paint out certain edges, get certain textures and things like that. So it allows us to like make edits to our photos without us actually destroying the photos, which can be very useful in case you're scared of messing up or if you want to make like different, if you want to adjust like your image in some way, right? Otherwise, again, go ahead and like take a moment to like play around with this, and when you're done, we'll go ahead and talk about some other things. So now that you've gotten some time to kind of play around with it, if you right click your mask, you can apply your layer to the mask, which means that it'll just erase those parts out. You can also delete the mask if you don't want it. You can also, what is it? Add like a selection to this mask over here. So select these areas that you're masking out. If you don't see it, you can go back to the diffuse part and you see if, oh, so it just, there we go, just the opposite, sorry. Right? So you can kind of see, what is it? These are just other things that you can do with the selections here too. But you can kind of see over here, there are a couple other options that you can kind of mess around with that that you can use for your mask. I don't really use these ones too much over here, so I apologize if the explanation wasn't too thorough. But I would recommend kind of just playing around with it. I actually hardly even use these as well. The most I use is maybe just like a delete, because maybe I don't need to have the mask sometimes. And every once in a while, I might like apply the mask to a layer if I want to merge layers down, you know? But just kind of good to know in case you need to like delete a mask or get rid of something that you don't want. So for this assignment, we're going to go ahead and create this over here. Now, if you did save one earlier, you can go ahead and grab that one. Otherwise, you can also delete the previous one. We're actually going to make a copy. So if you haven't made a copy yet, you can like click and drag your layer to the new layer button down here to make a copy. And then from there, we're going to go ahead and grab these two layers. So I'm just gonna move these apart so you all can see. We're gonna grab these two layers and then we're gonna downsize them a little bit, kind of like that. Then we're gonna press done or enter. And I'm also gonna just flip one of them. So we're gonna press Control T to transform again. If you don't see that, you might have Show Transform Tools on. So if you go to your Move tool, you can turn this off. It's okay to have it on too. And if you, but you just have to press Control T first, and then you should get the options to like flip horizontal and vertical. Um, I personally like to have these off, just because it's a little confusing sometimes. Like if I have Control T on or off, they both do the same things, but they access different settings. So I like to have them off. So if I press Control T, I'll know for a fact that there's like receptive feedback that I can see that I'm actually doing something. So let's go ahead and move these over here. I'm going to press Control T. Let's go ahead and flip one of them. And it doesn't matter if they're like perfect on each other. You can like maybe like move some of it down or whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and select these two. And I'm going to start off by, and you can hold Shift to select multiple layers. We're gonna go ahead and lower the opacity so it's a little bit more transparent. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a mask to each of these individually. And using a stylus, we're gonna grab the soft round with opacity and we're gonna get rid of the edges. Now, it might be actually easier to do it a little bit differently. And what I mean by that is most people will probably try to erase out the edges, but I think it's easier just to cover up everything first and then grab a white and then paint back in. What's going on? Oh, there we go. And I would go and paint back in the areas that you want to add this to. I also recommend for this assignment, it might be nice to just make your image black and white. You can click this little like black and white like squares over here, and you can use X to switch between the different swatches. So you can see it switches from black to white. So something kind of like this. Just get as close as possible. You really, really want to go in and like play around with the shapes more you can. Now from there, we're going to go ahead and grab the lion and let's go ahead and make the lion bigger. So let's press Control T. I'm just going to go ahead and extend this out. It's okay if it goes out of the borders a little bit of the image. And similar to before, I'm assuming the face is right here because I have these two open. Go ahead and just make this as a tad bigger also. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and grab the lion. Let's make a new layer. And I'm just going to erase out where the face is first. And you can kind of overextend a little bit. But once you're done with that, you can go ahead and use white to kind of, I mean, black. Oh, sorry, white. White to kind of like paint back in where you want the lion's mane to sit on the face of our character. We can go ahead and erase these parts over here. We don't need these parts. Let me just actually squish this a little bit. It's fine. Just like size. It's not going to change too much of the lion. You can use a smaller brush to be more fine about certain parts. And again, we're only using the soft and round brushes. You can always utilize different brushes. So this is just a brush for my tool set. You can even like use certain brushes to get specific textures so that you can get it more accurate with like your photo editing and stuff, you know. So this one is has a little bit more of like a tooth to it. So some of the parts can feel a little bit more like hair strands versus like it just disappearing into the fog of the background. But there we go, y'all. Once you have something kind of like this, you can go ahead and submit this. Just make sure to clean it up a little bit more. So clean up these parts a little bit more. But otherwise, go ahead and file, save as, put your name in the front, file, save a copy, and it should be the same exact labeling convention. So first name underscore last name, and I put an underscore under mine again. And then from there, you can go to JPEG, save, and then anywhere from medium to maximum. But that's basically it. If you have any questions about the assignment or the tool, feel free to reach out or ask me during a lab time, and we can go over any questions you may have. Otherwise, I hope this helps a lot and that y'all learn how to mask your images on Photoshop. But other than that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.